In this video, we are going to learn two things. First, we will review how to factor an algebraic expression like 6t minus 8t squared. Next, we will use what we learned about factoring to solve an equation like 6t minus 8t squared equals 0. So we will find t in this equation. Okay, first, factoring. If we have 6t minus 8t squared, we know that 6t is really 6 times t. The dot here stands for multiply. And 8t squared is really 8 times t times t. This is because t squared is really the same as t times t. Now we notice that there's a t in the first part and a t in the second part. That means I can take out a t, and I'm left with 6 minus 8t. And this is the answer. So if we factor 6t minus 8t squared, we get t times 6 minus 8t. One more example. Let's do 4t minus 4.9t squared. 4t is 4 times t. 4.9t squared, let's make this a subtract. 4.9 times t times t. There's a t in each side, so this is equal to t times 4 minus 4.9t, and that is the answer. Now you should pause the video, finish taking notes, and try the example problem in your worksheet. Next, we are going to solve an equation like this. 6t minus 10t squared equals 0. To solve this equation, first, we factor the left-hand side. We recognize that there's a t on each side, so it's t times 6 minus 10t equals 0. Really, in this equation, on the left-hand side, we have two numbers. We have t, and we have 6 minus 10t. So we know that t multiplied by 6 minus 10t gets us 0. When we multiply two numbers, for example 3 times 4, we know that we can't get 0. The only way we can get 0 is if one of the numbers we multiply is equal to 0, like this. Then we'll get 0. This tells me that in my equation, either t must be 0 or 6 minus 10t must be 0. Again, we know that there are two numbers here. The first number is t. T is a variable, but it really just stands for a number. 6 minus 10t is also just a number. So we know that either t equals 0 or 6 minus 10t equals 0. So this is just an or. So one of the two must be right. So we know that t equals 0 or 6 minus 10t equals 0. Well, in the first case, then we have already finished the first case. T is 0. In the second case, we can solve this equation. To solve this equation, we can subtract 6 from both sides. So I have 6 minus 10t equals 0. I will subtract 6 from both sides to get rid of 6. These two cancel. This gets me minus 10t equals minus 6. To get rid of minus 10, I can divide both sides by negative 10. Then these cancel. And that means that t must equal to minus 6 divided by minus 10. Another way to write divide is in fraction form. And this is equal to 0.6. So this equation has two answers. T equals 0. That's one answer. Or t equals 0.6. That's the second answer. So going back to our equation, we first factored. We realize that this gives us two possibilities. T is 0, or 6 minus 10t equals 0, which means that either t equals 0, or t equals 0.6. So my answer is t equals 0, or t equals 0.6. Now let me give you one more example. If you want another example, if you feel confident, you are welcome to skip to the end of the video where I will give you the homework problem. So here is another example. This time we have 5t minus 8t squared equals 0. First, we factor out a t. So either t equals 0 or 5 minus 8t equals 0. To solve this equation, 5 minus 8t equals 0, I will subtract 5 from both sides. This cancels. We get minus 8t equals minus 5. Now we divide both sides by minus 8. This cancels. Running out of space here, so I'll write there. So t is minus 5 divided by minus 8. So t is equal to 5/8 because the minus signs cancel each other and go away. So t is 0 or t is 5/8. Going back to my equation, 5t minus 8t squared equals 0. That means that t is 0 or t is 5/8. And my answer has two numbers. That means that if t is 0, my equation works. If t is 5/8, my equation also works. If you are having trouble, I would encourage you to go back to the two examples I've given you. Here is the homework problem. If we have 6t minus 3t squared equals 0, I want you to solve for